So you're telling me we're gonna save this? You're gonna save the anger for like the end or something? Like I can.
We'll see where it comes up at. That's the biggest thing. It could manifest anywhere.
Okay, Thomas, do you want to say hi real quick to Jermail? You got to come over here. All right, go back in with mom. All right, because you're already in the deal here. You either got to come and say hi or you got to go. Okay, first things first. You're a gym owner. What is your gym that you own, Jermail?
Functional Fitness Applied Strength and Conditioning. Cleveland.
The shirt. You're wearing the shirt. Hey, can you throw me the face mask, the thing there? I like that you're branding. You're good with the branding. Now listen, I was gonna start this interview. My guy Josh Sasvey. I think you and Tommy might have been teammates for a year or two, right?
Yeah. Or he might have been the year after me.
Okay. He's maybe the year after you, but his brother owns this, Barbarian Apparel, right? He's one of my partners. Yeah. Got it? You with me?
Yeah.
He sent me GoHioCast face masks.
Yeah.
See, there's Barbarian Apparel. And I was going to start the interview out with this on. But listen, I didn't want to see the iPad or whatever device you're on go like a frisbee.
Fling all
yeah, like bust against the wall. I didn't want that. I wasn't prepared for that, Jermail. I was more prepared for a civil conversation. But listen, so we're in the middle of this COVID thing, and you're a small business owner, and you own it's functional fitness.
Yeah, applied strength and conditioning.
Okay, so I just want to get into what makes you qualified to do that. You used to run it with your brother, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I still do.
Okay, so you and your brother, you guys are from Akron, Ohio, right?
Yep.
Where are you guys from in Akron?
West Akron, right by Firestone. I mean, I grew up 1.5 miles from my high school. So,
okay.
Firestone High School. If you remember, I don't know what it's like now, but it used to hold Division II districts there. That's where I went to high school.
They moved that, I want to say, to Alliance. The Firestone district's now in Alliance. But what I mean,
the Bill D tournament ever. That's where.
Yep. They still have the D's there.
Yep.
Okay. So the thing I was gonna say with you was, you guys grew up in Akron. How far are you guys? How far is your? Because it's Firestone Park, isn't it? Isn't that like what?
No. So Firestone Park is South Akron. Firestone was essentially that was the rubber capital, or Akron was the rubber capital, polymer capital. So everything is named Firestone because that was where the big factories were. So Firestone Park is more south side.
Okay.
Firestone High School is west side.
Okay, got it. So you guys are west side. So you guys are probably 15 minutes from Medina?
Yep, about 15, 20.
Yeah, so you guys are west side. Fairlawn's just north of you.
Yep.
And like Buckdale would be south, right?
That would be going like southeast.
Got it. Okay.
It's not too far.
Got it. So but you're from an Akron C school.
Yeah, public school. Yep.
Public school, right? So your background, okay, in wrestling was, when did you even start wrestling, Jermail?
9th grade.
You started wrestling in 9th grade?
Yeah, 9th grade.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you started wrestling in 9th grade, and then you never played high school football, correct?
I did not. No.
This is amazing. So amazing. Your story. I tell your story to people. I'm like, this guy was a Division I All-American in wrestling. He played in the NFL for 2 seasons, right, as a practice player?
One.
Well, 1 and some change, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1 and some change. Like
so 2. That's 2.
Yeah, it's close.
No, it's 2. No, think about it. That's 2. You were in there for 2 calendar years. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 2 years. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, that's 2 years. It might not be 2 full seasons. Might not be 2 full seasons, but it's 2 years.
Hear that.
So, I talk to people about that a lot. Didn't you actually play in the band?
I did. Orchestra.
You played in the orchestra.
Played in the orchestra, yep.
Oh, my God, dude. Your story, you're just such a different guy, man. And I understand why you're training people now, because You're such a late bloomer. But the big thing I think that the NFL really liked about you was obviously your size, but big gigantic guys that are athletic are not a dime a dozen, but they're more common now than they were in the 30, 40, 50 years ago, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, look, just real quick, you had like a bootleg pro day. I remember you telling me about you didn't have like a real pro day. What was your pro day even like?
I had it was more so like a workout organized. So I had two different teams come to camp 2 different times, and then I went to them like a bunch of different times. But the ones that were at camp were put on by the Patriots and then the Dolphins. Those are my 2 there. So those were the 2 there. Brian Ferentz at the time was the assistant offensive line coach for New England. But the Ferentz family, Kirk Ferentz, who's obviously head coach at Iowa, are huge wrestling fans. So the idea of him vouching for me, he saw me at the NCAA. So they sit in the Iowa section, the Ferentzes. So he was able to say, hey, I watched you wrestle. At that time, it was like a couple months ago. I watched you wrestle a couple months ago. So he basically put me through my my workout, and basically the Miami guys came a couple weeks later and they did the same thing. But yeah, that was how that whole thing kind of got started, and that was basically it just took off from there.
And Ferentz was with the Patriots at that point in time?
Yeah, I think he moved from tight end, or he was tight end coach, moved over to assistant offensive line under Dante Scarnecchia. I think he's the offensive coordinator now for Iowa, I want to say.
Yeah, he's the assistant at Iowa now, his son.
Yeah, so now he's at Iowa, but yeah, that was essentially the communication I had there.
Okay, so it's crazy. I know that the Patriots do a lot of unconventional stuff. Obviously, bringing a guy in who never played a down of organized high school or college football, that's a stretch. Let's just go with that. Can you and I both agree that's a stretch?
Oh, that's a big gamble. Maybe not a big gamble for them, but it was a gamble.
Yeah, and I remember talking to you about it, and you said the big thing was your hip flexibility, your ability to squat, and how you could move laterally. You did shuttles. You were like one of the higher-endest rookies in the draft class. You weren't even a draftable guy, I don't even think.
Right, I was undrafted. Yeah.
You were an undrafted guy, but you did stuff a lot better than these guys who probably signed $20, $30 million contracts, right?
Yeah, this is true. This is 100% true.
What was it? What were the exercises? What were the things that set you apart from everybody, Jermail?
I think my mobility and my ankle, knee, hips was key. I was a pretty good knee bender, not a waist bender, and that's what you will hear a lot of times with the big guys. You get tired, you bend at the waist, but I mean, I was able to repeatedly kind of be able to bend my knees, keep my torso upright, things like that, and most guys were able to kind of fatigue up to that. So I think it was things like that, and I knew how to basically distribute force pretty well. For if you're run blocking out of the stance, it's no different to take a double leg or a high crotch. It's the same thing. So that's one of the things that I think it was an easy transition for me, and I could do it I could do it all day every day. That was where some guys struggle. I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
That's crazy because I know that they're putting you through these workouts. I did some of your guys' hill workouts and some of the stuff where they would torture you on the front hill, and Matt Hill, Josh Moore, and Coach Anderson, they would torture you up this hill, right?
Oh, yeah.
And buddy carries and bride carries and all these different just plate carries, plate pushes. Plate pushes was your punishment, wasn't it, in the field house? That was ours.
Yeah, man. Plate pushes were the punishment for any sort of infraction.
So crazy.
Any sort of infraction. I don't care what it was. You were plate pushing. Mostly if it was like some sort of tardiness. Those are the plate get-ups.
The get-ups where you had to get up from your back with the plate holding it. And then hold it above your head, right?
Yep.
Madness. And here's the crazy thing. It prepared you for 2 years in the NFL. Now, you did the 2 seasons that you were in 2 separate seasons. You were a practice player 1 year for the Patriots, and then the other year was with Kansas City, right?
Yeah, I was. Yes, that's correct. Kansas City was my longest stint. I was just there I was there briefly. Now, I guess relatively in the time span, I was there briefly for New England, but I was there. I spent the bulk of my time in Kansas City.
Okay, so you're in with New England. You're in with them for however long. You're in with them for a month or two, right?
It was like 4.
You're with 4 months. You're with them,
Yeah.
dude. How finely tuned and well oiled of a machine are they?
Yeah, dude, they are, and it's like, dude, that was in hindsight. So you got from an X's and O's standpoint, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like the best education you could ever get, but it's like walking in as a 5th grader trying to do calculus. It's like, wait, what? And so everybody's highly cerebral, and they're unique in their processing and the ability to like deduce, what needs to happen. It's real fast, and it's just like, so then going from them to Kansas City was a lot easier because I'm not saying it was dummied down, but just I was used to a higher pace and struggling immensely to be able to go to Kansas City and like, okay, I've seen this before. This makes sense. It's a little slower pace, but yeah, they are as advertised. Like I said, I was never really too nervous in Kansas City most days, but I was nervous every day.
Okay, in New England, no Aaron Hernandez, right? You missed him, didn't you?
Yeah, I missed him.
You missed Aaron Hernandez, but Brady was there. Julian Edelman was there when you were there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was there. Yep.
Okay, and he's a Kent Stater. He was the quarterback. You guys were actually in school together when he was at Kent State, right?
You are correct. Yep.
So you might have seen him a couple times at the field house and stuff when you guys were working out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so crazy, man. And that guy, you know what? They're so good at doing unconventional things, and like picking you up is like one of those unconventional things. And I think that's obviously what sets them apart, right? I mean, they just do so much unconventional things that don't really jive with a lot of other people are doing. Also,
and they would do it the next year because next year they would pick up John Wise from Illinois. He went there after me, and Steve Neal was still there for both of those years. So it was always good to have him. To be able to talk with him and him provide shed insight and take you in and kind of, but look, man, I get it. It's challenging. This is what you should do. This is what this, that, and other.
So Steven was good to deal with, huh? He.
Oh yeah, very, very. For me, most of the guys there probably knew him as a football player, but I knew him as I knew the wrestler. I'm like, oh shit, that's Steve Neal.
Yeah.
I was watching VHS tapes of him.
Now he beat Brock Lesnar in the NCAA finals, right? That's what you're thinking.
I'm like, oh, that's Steve Neal right there.
And then, so your whole role as a practice player, and they keep 5 practice players, right, who can be activated if someone goes down, right? Isn't that the deal?
It's 9. You get nine practice squad guys.
Okay, was it 5 then, or is it 9 now? Or has it always been 9?
It was 9. You got 53 plus the 9 guys.
Okay.
So any of those 9 guys could be activated. They were just like, those are the best next best utility players. So if you're down guys, listen, these guys are next ready guys to go in.
So the crazy thing about all that is when I look at it, I was talking to Tim Anderson, and Tim Anderson and he went to Clyde High School. I went to Oak Harbor. He said you can only be a practice player for 2 years. Was it the same way when you were there? You could only be a practice player for 2 years. After 2 years, they either have to activate you or cut you, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, if you're on the same team, yeah. Like if you're with the same franchise, yeah.
So,
but again, technically, being the practice squad is like them cutting you, and then they basically bring you back as a quad practice squad player. But yeah,
it's crazy that the NFL works like that, and you were in that system. You know what I mean? And you did it all from being a wrestler. That's the wildest thing that blows my mind. No, no organized football experience. That's crazy, Jermail.
Yeah, nope. But like I said, the benefit of having my initial exposure with being the Patriots is like you had some of the best education you could have. Then moving to Kansas City, it was like, okay, I could kind of hold my own there a little bit better, and that was kind of like that was the best thing that could have happened in that terms. Okay, well, it's like it's not as complex. I remember that. Although we had Charlie Weiss as the offensive coordinator coming back in the start of the 2010 season. But yeah.
Okay, were any of the guys on the Kansas City roster when you were on it? Were they on the roster? And was there anybody left from when you were on the roster to what that won the Super Bowl championship this year?
Nobody I know, because there's a whole regime change.
Well, yeah, I mean it's the NFL. I mean,
I think that was almost 10 years ago, or 9 years ago now.
Yeah,
you know, so
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of those guys that were there are already, they're out of the league.
What's a brutal sport, dude? Let's just get. I mean,
Yeah.
it's. They say the linemen have the equivalent to however many plays they have from scrimmage. Let's say they have 50 plays from scrimmage. It's like 50 car accidents.
Yeah, it is. It's different. It's different. You gotta be built for that. But it's fun. It's fun, but it can take a toll on you.
Jermail, you're training all these. You train all levels of athletes. And a lot of people come from the perspective, I was this or I was that, and then you just have some people who have a good understanding. Maybe they weren't great athletes, but they have a great mind, right? Like if you look at all your NFL coaches, 90+% of your football coaches in the NFL, they never played NFL football.
No.
You're coming from a position as a gym owner and a personal trainer as a D1 All-American, played 2 seasons in the NFL as a practice player. You're at all, dude, that's amazing. But, you're coming from this position of look what I was able to do. Is it a great marketing tool for you whenever you're going out there, and is it easy to bring clientele in?
Initially, I didn't really use it at first, but it's a great opportunity for a mentorship because you're able to provide insight to like high school athletes, middle school athletes, and college athletes that they may not get from anybody else. And that's one of the big things I wish I had more of. And I think that's the kind of person I am. If I have like a mentor or somebody who can provide me, like, look, man, follow these steps. I think I fare better with that. So if anything, my journey has now provided me opportunity to be able to reciprocate that to the next generation of athlete. And like, look, you don't have to be uneasy or unsure. I kind of already walked this path a little bit for you already. This is what you could expect. This is what you need to do. This is kind of like where your mind should be for preparation and routine and all that kind of stuff. I think that's one of the best things that I can provide younger athletes these days is that kind of sort of experience of I've kind of already done it, in that standpoint.
Does everybody who knows you played, some NFL football, Chiefs, Patriots, does everybody think you're a millionaire?
No one thinks I'm a millionaire.
That's good. That's good because they pay you guys?
No one thinks I'm a millionaire.
League minimum, right? Is it? Did you make league minimum?
No, practice squad gets half of that, which is still a substantial amount of money. But practice squad gets half of that.
What's league minimum? $200,000 or something?
Oh, dude, I don't even know what it was. All right, so I can put it in perspective. In 2009, it was like $710,000.
Oh my God!
And, yeah, that was league minimum in 2009. And then you cut that in half, and that's typically what a practice squad guy makes.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
But that's 2009. I don't know what it is now. I couldn't tell you.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It's reasonable to assume it's higher than that now, but it was $710,000.
Maybe not in this economy. Maybe not in this economy though.
Yeah, it's a little iffy now. We don't know. But there, I remember it was $710,000 or $720,000 was the league minimum for 16 games.
Okay. All right. So quickly, obviously, I think coming from me, you need to market more, in my opinion. The NFL and the NCAA Division I. You reversed the curse for Kent State. You were the first All-American in 23 seasons for them. I can't even tell you how happy I was. And there was 2 of you that day, you and Nick Bedleon. You did it first, though. Wait, you did it first, right? Yeah, you did it first.
I did it first.
You did it first, and then he was shortly thereafter in the blood round, right?
That was shortly after that afternoon, I think.
Okay. So, yeah, you won in the quarters in the morning. He won that night in the blood round.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
That night.
So, and you beat an NCAA champ. You beat Zach Ray in the quarters.
Yeah, which was probably which in hindsight, the quarters was the tougher match, in my opinion, than the semis. Like, I think if I had to go, I did look at it back. Like, I actually had a tougher match going into the quarters and the semis.
Okay, and the other crazy thing about that is, it was Mark Ellis, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Mark Ellis in the semis.
You know the wild thing about that?
What's that?
If you had had more looks at him that year, how many times did you wrestle him throughout the year?
Never. 0. I never seen him wrestle.
You'd have had 2 shots at him had they been in the MAC then.
Right.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, dude, if you'd have wrestled him 2 more times, it would have probably been different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that Mizzou wasn't in the MAC yet, and now they're in the MAC.
No,
that's crazy. Whatever, man. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I know that you don't live like that. So.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like I said, it's part of those experiences. You can provide somebody else a little information. That's it.
Yeah, but like, I'm like, they would have been in the league. They would have been crazy. They'd have been in the MAC. It'd have been different. But so let's rewind. Let's go. So, are you going to take my advice on the marketing? By the way.
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna chop parts of this, and you can have it. You can have it, and we can mark it. And seriously, that's what it's for. You should be marketing your brand as such. I'm serious. I'm not joking. That's how this works. But so let's rewind to 14-year-old Jermail Porter, 15-year-old Jermail Porter. Were you tall? Were you tall as a freshman? Or
I was average height. I wasn't necessarily. I did hit the growth spurts the summer of my sophomore. At the end of my sophomore year, going to junior year.
Were you pudgy?
That was when I shot.
Were you pudgy?
Oh yeah, 9th grade, 10th grade, and then that summer is when I shot from like 6'2" to 6'5".
Okay, so
and that was where it just changed.
And yeah, it's a switch. Probably you figured some stuff out.
Just like that, yeah. Just like that changed. I was like 225 to like 265, just like that.
What were you as a freshman? What weight were you?
215.
You were
below that, barely 215.
So did you wrestle on the varsity at Firestone at 215?
I had one varsity match my freshman year. I got pinned in 19 seconds. I remember exactly, clear as day, because I got pinned in front of all the these girls I went to our high school. I just got straight up just embarrassed. Dude just pinned me, and he stood up and gave him like a double bicep. I was like, oh, this is horrible.
You got partied on, huh?
Yeah, man, I got partied on. It was my first time at the gate. That was my only match as a 9th grader.
So okay, so you're pudgy. You're 6 foot-ish, right?
Yeah, like 6 foot even.
You're 6 foot even. You're 215 pounds. You're not very solid. You're maybe a little gooey.
Not really strong either.
Yeah, kind of weak. Probably hadn't figured a lot of your athleticism out. You were in the band. You did not do a whole lot of athletics.
Nope.
What was the thing that brought you out for the team at Firestone and Akron?
So it's a great story. I was telling people. So I was day one of high school. I showed up with my instrument. I'm sitting there, and so I'm the oldest. So as you're oldest, you always you have to go through and do every experience first. So I remember I get to my high school, and I went to performing arts middle school. So this is my first time going to public like high school. So I get there, I don't know anybody, and I'm just sitting by myself, and I'm seeing like all these guys who are bigger than me, and they're sizing. I'm sizing them up. I don't know I'm sizing them up, and I'm like looking around, and then maybe 2 periods into the day, a fight breaks out in the hallway. I'll never forget this. And I'm standing there. I'm just seeing this kid just get like body slammed, and it's like he just got manhandled. I'm like thinking like, dude, I better hop into one of these sports real quick because I don't want that to happen to me. Like, what the fuck am I gonna? What am I gonna do with this kid? If he chose to do this to me. So I remember one of my friends who was also in the bands, but he wrestled, and it was like middle of like the day. I'm like, hey man, when does wrestling start? And he was like, you're gonna wrestle like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna come out. All right, well, there's a meeting the next Monday. All right, so I go to the meeting and I'm like unsure about this. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't even have wrestling shoes, but I go to the meeting, and then from there I go home and tell my parents like, Mom, Dad, I didn't want to wrestle. They look at me like, yeah, right. So here was the deal. There's like, all right, we're gonna play it against sports. We're gonna buy you a $9 pair of wrestling shoes. If you make it the entire season, we'll get you a brand new pair. So I had a pair of $9 Asics that literally looked like they were like from 91. And they just happened to be like a size 11 or 12 or whatever I wore. And I put those on. My pinky toe was coming out the shoe by the end of the time. But that was the start. That was the reason why. Essentially, it was I just didn't want to get beat up because I didn't have any older sibling. I was the older sibling. So I was like, well, this seems the most logical choice as far as that was the wrestler. Also, the best athlete of our school was also a wrestler. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do what he does then because that makes the most sense.
So you're at how is Akron Firestone? Is it a good school?
Yeah, it was a good school. I mean, we have the international bachelor program. We have performing arts. So it was real like. You know, you had your kids that lived in the neighborhood, and you had the kids who were commuting there to go for one of those programs. You know,
so you were a magnet. Well, it was a magnet school, right?
Yeah, basically, and so I had to, even though that was my home school, I auditioned to get into the program.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it was still my home school, but I auditioned to get in there.
So you didn't want to beat down in the hallway, is what it all comes down to.
I did not want to get beat down in the hallway in front of all the people.
It served you pretty well. It did. Yeah. So you get bodied up, just smacked down in front of a bunch of girls. You probably have some body image.
4 girls there laughing.
And then I'm guessing you had some like body image stuff that went with that too, right?
Oh yeah, I had body image stuff. I was insecure. I was all the stuff. You know, I hadn't really done organized sports, so I just didn't know what to. You know, I had to figure it out on my own, and that's kind of how like it led me down that path.
So you get down that path, you get pinned in the only varsity match. How'd you do overall? How did you do overall in your freshman JV schedule?
I was 0-1.
Oh, you just wrestled the varsity match. That was it.
So I filled in for one of my best friends now. He's a year older than me. He was the starting 215, and I filled in for him. I think he had a shoulder injury, and I filled in for a match. And again, I wrestled was actually Jermail Thompson's school, Kenmore. They had about 3 or 4 good guys. I think Kenmore was Division II at the time. It was a bloodbath for our team the entire time. But I wrestled one of the higher ranked kids in the state, Porter Brakeman. And that's why he pinned me in 19 seconds. I mean, it was a massacre. But yeah, I got that 19-second beat down, and that was it for the entire year.
Okay, so did you do anything that off season?
Yeah, so that off season, I started lifting weights. As crazy as that sounds, I got a weight set. You know, the weights that had like kind of like the sand fill on.
Yeah, they're plastic.
The plastic. I had those at home. I think we upgraded a little bit. My mom and dad got me like the iron ones. I started lifting a little bit. And I came back the next season. I think I was a little bit taller, like 6'2", and I was like about 230, 240.
So now you're a heavyweight. Now you're a heavyweight your sophomore year after going 0-1 as a freshman.
What's that?
So you're heavyweight and you're a sophomore and you're a little taller, right?
Yeah. A little taller, a little bit stronger, not much still. I mean, I don't think as a sophomore I can bench like 225. Yeah, I might be able to. It might have been like 225, 230. So I'm still like, I'm a dude. I'm a dude out there that has a little bit more wrestling experience, I think I won 20 matches that first year. It might be like 20 or 25 matches. Yeah, I think it was 25 matches. So
that's pretty good. Right. That's a huge improvement. That's a huge improvement.
Yeah, I went from 0 to 25. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then junior year. So sophomore to junior year, when did that 6'2" to 6'5" thing happen?
That was going into my junior year. That was when I started hitting the iron hard every day, twice a day. And I just blew up there. And then that's kind of when I figured it out. I was like, okay, I got a good handle on what's going on now. And that was when it started to change for me. Because I didn't have a summer job. So all I did was lift weights every single day, all day, every day. And that was when I kind of like, so I came back like about probably 275, 280, and they were like, so that was when the football team was like, what are you doing? I'm going to wrestling practice. That's what I'm doing. Because at this point, I'm bigger than everybody. Like, I'm 6'5", like 280. I'm literally bigger than everybody. I'm in the weight room outlifting every single person in that school.
Okay, so junior year, how'd it go your junior year at Firestone?
think that I got like 30+ wins. I should have. So that year, again, my problem is inexperience. My heart wasn't in it. I was the only one that made it to day 2 of districts. I think I had less than 5 losses going in. I think maybe I might have had less than 5. I won everything I went to that year, and then including sectionals and the districts. I don't know what happened. I guess my heart wasn't in it, and I saw everybody just losing. I'm like, well, I want to go home too. I mean, literally, everybody my whole team was out. They went to the barbecue the first day.
They were all 2 in barbecue, huh?
Yeah, and they're just waiting on me. I'm just like, so I won the first handful of matches, and I took a loss to eventual state placer sometime like early Saturday, and I think I needed one to place. I think I lost like 2-1. I was like a heavyweight match. I was like a 2-1 match, and I was like, I'm done with this,
So okay, so you're gaining confidence, you're growing in size, you're lifting every day. So what flipped the switch your senior year from you get to the district tournament, it's not going to be barbecue time anymore? Were you just superior to everyone? Were the other guys bad? It was easy for you. What was it your senior year?
No, Jimmy was there. I had a tough district. That was with that. So they had got rid of the meat grinders. So everybody who came from the meat grinder was coming out of Perry. So that was actually a tough districts. I had to knock off some guys en route to winning that one. And I think at that point I had more confidence. I knew I was physically superior to most people. I felt like that. I felt like if I could turn it on, I turn it on. I could beat anybody. And that's kind of how again, my semis match was probably the most challenging match because I upset the projected champion in the semis.
Who'd you beat? Who was it?
Kid from Glenville. I don't know if you remember that guy. He was 30-0. That was because he had all the press. He's 30-0, and he was he had walked through the entire, everything he'd been in. And I think I was undefeated also going into that. And I was just a no-name guy, and I think I ended up beating him in regulation, and he flipped the shit, and he tried to fight me and my coach afterwards. It was weird. It was a weird
Did he
time.
qualify? Did he qualify? Did he qualify for state then?
No, he didn't. Because like I said, he didn't, because we had some guys there that were returning state qualifying places there. He actually didn't like a 5th. I don't know what it was to get out anymore. It was top 4 get out.
Top 4, yeah.
Yeah. He didn't make it out. I think he took a 5th place and didn't get out, but he was like a football commit anyway. So he didn't, it was like, all right, rest is over. I'm going to go play football, that kind of thing. But that was how it went. I ended up having a pretty good district en route to the state.
And then you win in the semis. Who'd you beat in the semis at the state tournament?
I do not remember his name, but I know he's from probably one of those Columbus schools down there. Again, it was like one of those things like, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I think I won. I had a harder match in the quarters. I do know that because I beat I beat a good kid in the quarters to get to the semis. In the semis match, I won 6-1.
Okay, so semis was anticlimactic. It was anticlimactic.
Yeah, it's like, all right, technically you placed, Jermail. You've done something that, again, from my high school that hadn't been done in 30 years or whatever it was. Like, okay, we got here, mission accomplished. Now it's kind of like, you get to the semis, and then I did that, and it's like, fine. I was like, uh-oh, here we are. I'm in the final. I had never even been to a state tournament prior to that.
That's great. And then you punched through to the finals.
Whole production, I'm looking around like, where am I? I've never seen things before in my life,
I love it.
And I was not ready.
So was it Tony Johnson in the finals your senior year?
It was like the worst possible finals match you could have as a green newbie guy in a state tournament. It was Tony Johnson on the other side.
He pinned you, didn't he?
He pinned me.
And he went to Iowa State and played football and tried to do wrestling both, right? And now I see he fights in Russia and stuff, I think.
Yeah, he fights. We're actually Facebook fans. He might see this. I think he fights for one of the organizations, not like a Bellator. He might fight. I think he does fight for Bellator and
one. Yeah, he's like a split one or something. I think a one championship, one FC or
all that stuff.
Yeah, he's in a different probably a good promotion that pays well would be my guess.
Right. Sure.
Because I know that those ones, the one FC's the Asian one. It's the biggest one in Asia. They paid Ben Askren real well. I know that.
Yeah.
But
I think
But okay, so you make the finals, and I remember Andrasey talking to me. And listen, he's like, "I got that guy. I got that guy. That guy, he's not any good. That guy's not any good. You got that guy's no good." I remember walking out and being like, "The guy from Akron's no good." And I'm saying this to him. I'd say this to your face. And I'm just like, "The guy's no good." And he goes, "I'm going to develop him, and he's going to be good. You'll see." And I'm like, I remember heckling him, like saying you're no good, and he was like, "You'll see."
Jimmy, as long as I did, he always had that grin. You know how he has that grin, like he knows something. Like and he always had that grin when he, like early introductions, like he was getting like, "Oh, I found something." Like he had that grin in his look, and now it always makes sense. Now looking back, like, "Oh, okay."
No, he defended you, and I was like, because dude, you got to understand, you were like you didn't look super athletic.
Nope.
I'm like, he's just a big body. That guy's no good. And, well, you proved me wrong. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Because, man, I was just like, and I remember where I was, it was 2009, right?
Yeah.
When you beat Zach Ray. Yeah. And I remember it was in St. Louis, right?
Yep.
And I remember just being like, was it 2009?
2009.
And I just remember being like, I was so relieved. And then Bedleon wins that night. I'm just like, dude.
We caught fire in that
oh, yeah.
There, which I think was important because me speaking personally, nobody had done that. Like, okay, so I've gone to all the NCAAs. I'd see everybody losing around the 12. I've seen that before. But I think seeing someone win, somebody starts that spark. And I think that was like, when you see somebody do it, I got this. I think that's happened sometimes in dual meets. When somebody has a big win, it kind of inspires you a little bit. Like, dude, we could do this. And that's kind of like, I think if that had happened anytime years before, I think we would have had. I mean, we had a lot of good guys come through the program where I was there. We just needed it's possible. It's not this.
Did Lashaway get beaten in the round of 12 too by Molinaro?
He ran into Molinaro in the round 12. Remember?
Yeah, he got banana splitted or what? You tripod up.
Amongst everything.
Yeah, he banana splits people like a Splado type deal, and then Drew couldn't come back. It was a 6-point or a 4-point near fall then because Drew yelled, and it was like that was a 6-point move, and it's a 6-point move now if you take someone down and put them on their back, but. And Drew just couldn't come back. He ended up losing like a 9-7 match or something to Frank.
I was in the stands watching that. I'm just like, dude, because I know how hard he worked, but you literally ran in to worst guy to run into.
Yeah.
If you had to in the blood round, I was like, oh, yeah.
He had Frank Molinaro, a freshman Frank Molinaro, and Drew was a senior.
Right.
What a So you guys had a bunch of guys do that though. Like Danny got beat. You got you could have had 4 All-Americans. Danny loses to Bell from Maryland. Danny Mitchell loses to Steve Bell from Maryland. Lashaway loses to Frank Molinaro. You could have had 4 or 5 All-Americans that year. Kilgore, your buddy Kilgore completely underperforms.
Exactly. And that was the shocking thing. I don't know what he was doing. But I think that was just the newness. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Kilgore, but that was a shocking one. I figured for sure Kilgore's walking out of the top 8 that first year. I didn't see, there was no reason for him not to.
You guys had 4 guys in the top 12. Kilgore didn't make the top 12. He was round of 16 or something. He went 2-2 or something weird. He was like a 3 or 4, 5 seed maybe.
He was seeded in there.
He was like a 5 seed. You could have had 5 All-Americans easily. And Chine was at 97. Didn't he make the round of 12 or 16?
Chine went 2 or 3. Yeah, Chine did something too because he beat the kid from Virginia, which was a big win for him. And now that's what kept him alive. I forget who he was losing to, but all 193 pounds of him wrestling 97. He held his own for as long as he could.
And did Tice qualify with you too? Did Ross Tice qualify?
No, it was me, Danny, Lashaway, Bellion, Kilgore, Chine.
Dude, and every guy could have placed. Kilgore performed the worst.
I was shocked. I remember thinking, I was in I forget where I was. Kilgore lost.
Kilgore, for the first time in his life, was the worst guy on the team.
He waited till the NCAA to be a freshman.
Yes.
To perform like a freshman.
Killing people all year. Crunching people, twisting their head, cross-facing them.
The most important tournament is the one he does the worst at.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that either.
But, it's just like you'd never been to the state tournament as a senior, and you're like, what is all this, right? Like,
everybody who knows about Ohio in the state tournament, dude, it is a production. And I'd never seen it before in my life.
It really is. And the problem that they have is they got all these divisions and there's all these matches and there's just too much going on.
Right.
Because I cover it, you know what I mean? And there's 10 mats going and it's just really hard it's overwhelming for a fan. For me, I'm just kind of like, whatever now, because we're going to film every match now. That was the plan this year, to film every match.
Okay.
We were going to film every mat on every match that they were going to let us. And, it got canceled. And I think that was lofty. We were at least going to do all the championship matches and then put them on YouTube in chunks, right?
Oh, okay.
So you would have had to know what mat your person was on and what division they were in. We were going to do Division 1, mat 6, 106 to 285, right? And you just leave the camera running with it panned out.
Oh,
that was, but you're still going to get to watch it, whereas in the past, you just didn't get to watch it.
Get to watch it, man.
No, and they're not. The OHSA is bizarre. They don't have. They could just bring a production company in, like Track Wrestling or Flow Wrestling, who would do that for them, and they would pay them.
And they won't do it.
They won't do it. They're in a holding pattern. I don't know. It's like their thing. I don't care because it's going to benefit me. So, but maybe not next year. And that's fine. It's not like I'm giving out the secrets to a playbook. It's just
Right. No, I hear
you. But it's wild because breaking down barriers is hard to do, man. And I remember when you did that in 2009, that team you were on, you just weren't the guy I thought was going to do it.
I don't think anybody did. But you know what? I remember thinking back. So leading that summer, I remember the guys that were working up. Bellion was busting his ass. Him and Danny and Larry or Lashaway. I think Larry and Danny were living together, and they were doing their workouts daily. I remember. God knows where Kilgore was wrestling.
Okay, when you say Larry, you're talking about Drew Lashaway.
Sorry about that.
People don't know that. Drew Lashaway.
Danny and Lashaway, Bellion was living up there, at the time, so they were all staying in the same apartment. And then I was down the street in the other apartment, and then Kilgore was somewhere in the World Wrestling, somewhere in some sort of summer capacity. But I remember we trained really, really hard. Had we kept that sort of training maybe the year before and actually taken it seriously, I mean, I think that would have put us that much further ahead. But that last year, we all kind of were like, yeah, this is it, man. We gotta make it happen. So I spent a lot of time in the weight room and running and all that kind of stuff. And so did those guys. Those guys probably wrestled more than I did, but I was training a lot for sure.
Hey, it prepared you guys for it prepared you for your job now. It prepared Danny's assistant coach at Kent State. Drew's an assistant coach and a teacher now. Cheyenne apparently plans parties. I don't know what he does.
he's a VIP host in Vegas.
That's a job. That's a job where that guy probably makes 6 figures. That's a job.
Chey's good at his job. We'll just leave it at that. He's good at his
job. Good for him, man.
He was born to do that job. Chey, he was born to do that job. That's just what he does.
Good for, you know what I mean? That's awesome. Hey, his match against Clarion that I just posted in the last month, how about that lat drop he hit?
Yeah. Dude, I can never figure out how he lap dropped everybody. Like, literally, that was like his go-to. Like, dudes just thought, because he was smaller, he'd weigh in at 93, 94, and these dudes are struggling to make 97, so they thought that when they would go upper body with him, that they would just be able to just lap drop him.
He trucked him, dude.
Everybody.
He trucked that guy.
Right.
When you look at it, you guys had a dynamite team, probably, arguably, and I wrote this. I was like, that's probably Kent State's best lineup ever. Right?
I mean, if you look at even what we had that season and in the future, what the guys paid out to be, that top to bottom, that was probably the best team that we could have put together. And like, if it's an all-decade team or all-time team, that probably is the best team, the best version of it, I think.
And then 2016 was actually their best finish. Ian took 6th. De Palma took 5th.
Yeah.
And the only other year they've had 2 All-Americans is with you and Bedleon.
Right.
And
so it had to be the 2000 to 2010 versus the 2010 to 2020 team. That's the 2 decades. You have to put them together.
Yeah. It's crazy to look at it now. We're talking about a program, when Andresi took control, he took over. He was the interim coach. I graduated in 2003. So 2002, 2003 was the last year for Frank Romano. And then Jimmy's the interim head coach. Romano leaves. Jimmy's the head coach. You were a part of that culture change in those Friday night practices and those Saturday night practices, weren't you?
Yes. The very first year, so Jimmy's first year at the helm would have been 2004 or no.
03, 04 was his interim year, and then 04, 05 was his first year as the actual head coach.
Okay. There you go.
Were they doing the Friday night practices to keep guys out of the bar when you were there?
We were doing, I don't remember. I know for sure we were doing Saturdays, but I don't know about Fridays.
Yeah, because the culture change is hard, man.
It's real hard.
It's like real hard.
It was real. No, he wasn't doing Fridays. He didn't do Fridays because I remember being out Fridays, but we didn't do Fridays. He did Saturdays.
His first 2 or 3 years, he would do these Friday night midnight practices and these Saturday night midnight practices. Halloween was a 6 a.m. Sunday was the Sunday after Halloween was a 6 a.m. Did they do that to you?
Yeah, he kept that.
So, dude, that's a part of culture. It's part of culture change.
Yeah, but we still. I can speak firsthand. I know for sure we threw a party, just woke up and went and did it. went up and ran the stairs like we were just willing to accept our fate, whatever the fate was that day. I was ready for it. But yeah, he tried it, and we came up. We answered the bell. I remember that.
Okay, so you're a part of this. You're a huge. I was gonna get shirts made, reverse the curse. When you All-American, I was like, I'm making shirts. What's that?
I said that'd have been pretty sweet.
Because you did. I mean, it was Kent State was a joke for 20 plus years, and I was there with really good guys, man. I was there with guys. Anthony Ralph was there when I was there. Brent Thompson was there. Nick Magistrelli, who was a round of 12 guy. Nick Nemeth, round of 12 guy. Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler. Like, those guys were really good. We just didn't live. When I talk about the old culture,
right,
we were the old culture.
Right. Right. And that was hard to probably break because you look at just the quality of guys that went to Kent, that was, looking back on it, it was like, man, there were some really, really good wrestlers that were there. Just the culture was, I don't know if there's as many distractions at Kent as there were then as there are now. I think they're cleaned up. I think you got to be kind of a brainiac, not brainiac. I think you got to be a lot smarter to go to Kent now. But it was night and day. I think
it's crazy. But any regrets going 15 minutes away from home? Is there any regrets in your mind?
No, none with that. I mean, that was the best possible situation for me, regardless of what my training partners could have been at other places. And this Kent, I wanted to go to Kent probably more than anything. And that was a good deal for me.
When you look at it now, you're this kid with body image problems. You're in the orchestra. Would you have ever pictured that you would have taken it, been an NCAA Division I All-American, played for the Patriots and the Chiefs? Would you have ever thought that you're getting bodied in 19 seconds in front of girls? You're embarrassed. You probably built poorly in the singlet. Like, would you have ever thought that was going to happen for you?
You know what? That's what I was going for, was just for that to work out. I was fingers crossed. Like, I keep working, maybe this will pan out. So I was going for it. I just didn't know how far. I didn't know because I just wasn't. I didn't have any sort of, like, I guess, predecessors to let me know like what's possible far enough. I just took it like a year at a time. Like, but I knew I saw progress. But I didn't know how far it could go. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, like, the whole thing's been just like, all right, next stop, we're going here. Next stop, we're going here. Next stop, so I had no idea.
Okay, so now we have Jermail Anger Hour, you're about to train someone here soon.
Ask.
We're in strange times, man. You're a small business owner. I look at it daily, and your rage is pretty out there with this whole COVID-19 situation and the shutdown of the economy in Ohio. And you don't mince words. You're literally, let's argue is how you start every day.
Yeah. I'm ready to take it on, man. That's kind of how I could look at it.
You're losing money, but you're still training people. Your gym's not open. I remember you posted a video of a guy out front. You were working out in your gym, and a guy was videoing you, right?
Yeah.
That was like all-time rage level for you, I think.
Yeah. You know what? And the feedback was like, dude, you should go out there. You should have went out there and charged them. And for a split second, I thought about but I didn't want to bring any more attention to myself or the facility by me, doing that. But for a split second, I was like, that's it. I almost went out there. And that was in March when that happened. So, it's just wild times in there as far as that. But what are you gonna do, man? You gotta be creative, be innovative, and you can't quit. As far as that goes, that's all. I mean, it sucks, but that's kind of how I sum it up. As I can't quit.
What are you doing right now? Tell me what this workout's going to be. I've actually seen some workouts where it seems like you're there and you must be doing the social distancing out in like a parking lot.
I've been in parks. I've been in front of buildings. I've been in certain parts of my building. So it's set up as it's like not partitioned, but I have 2 storefronts that I'm able to work out. So it's multiple rooms.
Okay.
Within of it. So you have like a 2,000 square foot, you have 1,000. So we're able to kind of split ourselves up there. So I've been doing some stuff, and it's just kind of like, well, not incriminating myself, but it's like, yeah, I'm social distancing, I'm this, that, and the other, but work has to be done.
You are you guys going to survive this? Do you think?
Oh yeah.
Because I know.
I'm more upset for the places that won't. For us, our members have been really, really cool because we have adult group sessions, and a lot of them were like, and we've been providing content. Like I said, I go out, I do group sessions out in the park, so we're giving back value and still bringing in stuff. But a lot of them were able to hang on to their reoccurring memberships through this time, which has been really helpful. But yeah, we'll be fine. More upset for places that won't bounce back because I see how tight the margins are, man. They're tight. For a lot of these things that were shut down, I mean, you can't take too many weeks of this, especially months of this, before you reach the point of no return.
What is your what's our open up date in Ohio? Is it May 30th, May 31st? What's your open up date?
Dude, I don't even know. They're opening bars and dude, as old Dante Rini, me and him talk back and forth.
He owns like 6 gyms, doesn't he? He owns like
he's got 5 of them. Yeah, if you want. I'm not angry. He's angry.
Well, do you blame him? I don't blame him.
Yeah, I think he does not probably as vocal as I am, but dude, we talk pretty like weekly. And, he owns like 5. But I think it's sometime, gotta be with. I heard Memorial Day, possibly, but it's just hearsay. If you're opening bars and dining in on the 21st. There's no reason not to open at least smaller facilities like myself. Not like a Planet Fitness, okay, whatever. But us, we don't do the same sort of volume, and everything is by appointment. So it's different. It's way different.
So is this one you're going to do a virtual one after this, or is it going to be an outside one with you in person?
In person.
In person. Okay. Yeah. I don't want to make you look like a tinfoil crazy person, but how much of this do you feel like is overblown paranoia? How much do you feel like the numbers might be inflated? What do you feel right now, Jermail? What do you feel people are doing?
So this is what I think. I think the validity of a potential viral infection is real. I think the people who are dying or people who come in contact and get really sick are completely real. I think it is a virus regardless. I think the problem is my advocacy is for immune system health and maintenance. I mean, our bodies are predisposed or patties are designed to be able to withstand, onslaught of, invaders is what we'll call them. And if you have a diet that's rich in micronutrients, vitamin A through D and K, and all that kind of stuff, if you're exercising, if you're utilizing, your lungs essentially are muscle too. So, people are worried about respiratory issues, but if you don't use them or, and you're not predisposed to, any sort of bronchitis or asthma, then yeah, you should be worried. And the whole point is being sedentary puts you more at risk. Being unhealthy puts you more at risk. So it's kind of like in a dumbed down way, not that immunocompromised aside, it's like, well, wait a second. You guys can stay out here and smoke and eat like, shit and not exercise, and I gotta shut down and stay in the house because you're the one at risk. Like, it seems a little self-inflicted when you put it in those terms. And, my mother's immunocompromised too. And I just went and saw her this week, but she has a very, very strict diet. She exercises and she keeps most things at bay. So I'm not speaking incapacitantly. I'm just telling you facts are facts. And I think they should be bringing that message. What can we do against this in the interim is the message that should be being preached now. Okay, this virus is here. How do I defend myself from it? Not just sitting in a house waiting for somebody to come save me.
Yeah, you post
popular opinion. I get it, but
you post a lot of videos of your meals. You do a lot of meal prep, I can see. And here's the other thing about you. You get up to 330 and 340 and 350 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're like, you know what I mean? You're a big guy who consumes a lot.
It'll fluctuate. I fluctuate. It depends upon like what I'm doing, my training protocols and programming. Like, sometimes I get on the train or the gain train. I want to lift and be strong and maintain a 500-pound bench press. And some days I want to be able to run, not like the wind, but run and be more pliable and be, and kind of give the joints a rest. So I'll drop. It just depends on where my focus is, in that year there. What
are you now? How much are you now?
I don't know. I had the injury, so I had a lot of lower body atrophy. So I haven't stepped on a scale in a while. I'm probably sitting like 350-ish, 340-ish, which for me at 6.5, 7.5, that's probably 17% body fat.
Oh my God. How do you feel?
Give or take.
How do you feel?
Huh?
How do you feel?
Body-wise?
No, are you like, oh, I'm going to pass out? How do you feel?
Oh, no, yeah. No, I feel fine. And like optimum for me is probably 330. I think I'm around 13% body fat at 330. Oh my God. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
I posted my body fat when I did so I got down to 323 2 years ago. And I was sub 13% body fat with visible six-pack, but that just shows like I'm not getting to 300 pounds if I maintain, this current skeletal muscle structure, and then my current training just doesn't happen. I'm too dense, I'd have to do nothing, and that's kind of what happened to me in my lower body. I haven't been able to do very much as far as lower body, but I get back into it.
What was your injury?
I had a patellar tendon rupture and a IT band rupture at the same time.
Is it because you're such a gigantic human, or what was it?
No, I was actually in the middle of an unsupervised lift, and it was just
Jermail. Jermail, come on, man.
It was my time,
dude. How old are you now? 33.
I'll be 34 in 2 weeks.
So you are 33 to be 34. Okay, awesome. I know you got a workout coming up. You got a person there waiting. Yeah. Do you got anything else for me?
Dude, I love these videos and podcasts you do, man. I watch them, so thank you for having me on. So I'm excited, dude, and I like talking wrestling and stories and stuff like that. So
it's the best.
I'm happy with it.
Oh! I gotta send you. Do you have any? Do you have any defense?
No, I don't have any of that.
I gotta get you some. Listen, they got wipes. This is the bar. I got the new bar. This is the new brand too. If you look, it's the new brand. These are the guys I work with. They're great partners. Them and Barbarian Apparel, Saspy.
Okay.
And I know, I'm going to have to get you. I'm going to get you some of these. I know you want them. I know you need those.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
I love it. Listen, you're never going to wear a mask, are you? Never.
No.
It doesn't even bother me. Doesn't even bother me. It doesn't even bother me.
No.
It's I'm sorry. I just don't care. But when we get, where are you guys right now? Are you in Lakewood?
Cleveland. I'm in Cleveland. My gym is in Cleveland.
You're West Side though, aren't you?
Yep, West Side.
Okay.
Yep.
They just moved. The Ben Soap just left. They just left Lakewood. They just left the Screw Factory over there on Athens Avenue.
Yeah.
Right by the border of like Warren Bunts.
Oh, that's literally right over by me.
Yeah, no, they were probably within a mile of you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you some though. We'll get you. Are you a bar or a body wash man?
I'm a body wash man, but I at the gym. I got showers here. I probably use a bar. Just
Yeah, we'll get you a container for it too. We got all. Yeah, they hook it up. So I'll come by when you guys open up. I'll try and come by and do maybe some promotions with you or something.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool. Come by and check us out. That'd be awesome.
All right, train your guys up or girls up or whoever you're training up. Jermail Porter, NCAA Wrestling All-American, former NFL practice player. I appreciate the time, brother. Thank you. And I wish I liked your rant. Your rant wasn't angry enough, but I'll take it.
Okay. You know what? Instead of coffee, beer next time. You'll get all the good stuff.
All right, Jermail. Thanks for the time. Good luck to you guys.
All right. Take it easy. Thank you.
Later, bud.